Welcome to Rap in Order, the interrogation of a hip-hop album, where we take some of the culture's most beloved hip-hop albums, put them on the stand, see if they stood the test of time. Now let's see who we got on the stand today.
Dun dun.
Welcome to another episode of Rap in Order. I'm First Class Regg.
And I'm Taurian B.
Today, guys, we're getting into Q-Tip's Amplified. Amplified is his debut solo album. It was released in 1999. It came after the quote-unquote breakup of A Tribe Called Quest. The album was fully produced by Q-Tip and J Dilla. It had two hit singles, Breathe and Stop, and of course Vibrant Thing, which is the first rap song to ever go number one on Billboard's R&B airplay chart. Album debuted at number 28 on the charts, went on to achieve gold status. It received plenty of criticism when it dropped because it didn't fit in alignment with the sound that up until this point A Tribe Called Quest was known for. But on the reflective part of it, a lot of people came back around to this album and they really enjoyed it. But what do you think?
This album was amazing. In '99, I think I was 12, but I turned 13 or something like that. Mm-hmm. But '99 was an amazing year for music. It was fresh off the cuff of '98, which was quote unquote the biggest year in music history, like the as far as like money. So like '99, a lot of artists had like a lot to prove, and I think with Tip, I'm gonna piggyback off what you said. Like he was coming off the breakup of Tribe, his house burned down. I think like also he had met Dilla prior to that, mm-hmm. So like this was like him trying to like figure out new ways to make music because all of his records that he had were like destroyed. So he learned how to play different instruments. So he learned how to play piano and I think the drum. Mm-hmm. And then also like he kind of went through like a musical renaissance because like he met like Questlove and like Common and Bilal and all those artists. And I think that like that's a whole nother group. They call themselves the Soulquarians. Like all the retro people and everything like that, and D'Angelo. So like I think about this album a lot because my mom like loves Q-Tip, and like I always talk about my mom on here, and I just remember how much she like played this album, and like I just felt like it was like a poppy album as a kid, and I just felt like it was really commercial. Mm-hmm. So and like you got to remember this is fresh off the heels of like DMX. Mm-hmm. In '98, so like I as a kid I didn't want to. Yeah. I didn't want to hear this, and it was weird to me. I was like, why is he wearing a fur coat? Why is he wearing leather pants? It was like weird because it was like you're like Red said. Imagine seeing like Kendrick Lamar come out and like talk about like wearing jewelry and shit. It's fucking confusing. Mm-hmm. Like that's what it was like. So, going back and revisiting this album like brought back amazing memories because it also made me think about all the other music that came out in '99. And it made me realize how ahead of his time Q-Tip was. Like, as far as understanding, like, what will work on radio for hip-hop. Like, he was, like, very much ahead of his time.
I think so, too. I think when Q-Tip dropped this album, I wasn't in this frame of mind with listening to this type of rap. Because, like you said before, like, 1998 was so big for rap. Like, you had Big Pun, you had DMX, you had Jay-Z's biggest year as a rapper. You mm-hmm. had all these rappers that dropped that were nothing like this. And you get an album like Amplified where even when you look at the cover, it's like he has something to prove. Like you look at the cover and it's him in different variations. It's mm-hmm. like, I took it as like he's taking charge of like all these different sounds and he's like finding a way to blend all this shit because it's him by himself. And Tribe Called Quest, I was familiar with their work back then, but not fully tapped in. Like even Electric Relaxation, like I heard for the first time because of Wayans Brothers, because mm-hmm. of the opening theme. And then it wasn't until like later that like I heard that and I went back and I listened. But yeah, so Electric Relaxation and all the songs that A Tribe Called Quest was known for, I wasn't that familiar with yet. But that's why when Amplify came out, this was like my proper introduction to Q-Tip and his music. So I didn't understand the kind of outrage that was around it. Like I remember my brothers, even saying like, yo, this is different, whatever. But when Vibrant Thing coming on, everybody fucked with it. And Vibrant Thing being such a moment in itself because Hype Williams did the video. And it's like Q-Tip working with somebody like Hype Williams, that just wasn't, it was unheard of back then, especially for the type of music he made.
Yo, like and you also got to think about it, like how much flack Diddy got for Make It Forever.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, everybody already like made him like the poster child of like the shiny suit era and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So then Q-Tip coming out and kind of doing it, they were like, oh man, he's trying to do this, but like actually like Tip was like a super duper like in-depth soulful dude, but like he just, and Jay Dilla, like the most backpackiest of the backpacker like motherfuckers, is like his what was in it? They had like a production duo name. I think I wrote it down.
Uma.
There you go. Yeah, Uma. That was the name of like their production duo. So I just think that was dope.
Yeah. So
they had it going.
Yeah, because he met Dilla very early on, and he did some early work for Tribe back then.
Mm-hmm.
But Q-Tip always championed Dilla and his sound. But it wasn't until this album that he was able to like really fully relinquish like creativity and like really give it to Dilla and let him run wild with it. But like if you know both of their production styles, you can kind of listen to who did what and who chimed in on what. So it's a really cool reflective listen in that aspect. But the album itself opens up with Wait Up. Wait Up, of course, is produced by Q-Tip and Dilla. How you feel about this opener?
Yo, it's funky. I love how it like kind of like kicks the album off. It's the opening letting us know like like he pretty much like lets us know like, all right, this is not like what y'all used to from me, and like he like goes into it, like he leans into being pop.
Yeah.
And like that is something that I'm like kind of like, oh shit. And it's a feel good record. Like even like the way it starts, like it starts off like he's doing like having like a jam session.
Yeah, it
because it does like the counting,
the
like,
notes.
Yeah, the notes. So I thought that was dope.
Yeah, I agree, and it's a great opener for this album. Backpackers was pissed.
Yeah,
just off rip, because he lets you basically know like this is not what you about to hear. That's like that you accustomed to from me at least. It follows up with Higher. Higher's produced, of course. Well, the whole album is produced by Q-Tip and Dilla, so I'll stop saying that. How we feel about this? I think they really understood each other. The blends are perfect. He just sounds incredible. Q-Tip, and it's like his as a soul voice on his own is one of my favorite voices in hip hop.
Yeah. This all right. So if this song came out today, it would do ridiculous numbers on the streaming services because of how like now that like everybody like all. You can't figure out what song is a single on certain albums now, and the fans kind of dictate that.
Yeah, yeah.
And I feel like with this album, I feel like the fans would have picked different. Like obviously, Vibrant Things and Breathing Stop are like undeniable like hit songs, but I feel like there's more songs that would have got picked or like gotten more like spins because of streaming. If this album would have dropped during the streaming era, like I think it would have like broken records. This album just fits into the realm of like what's going on right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think it kind of came out at the wrong time.
Let's see twice.
Let's see. 1999 rap albums, right? You had but then you had some eclectic albums at this time too. But
oh yeah, I had it listed too.
Yeah. This album, I mean, this year that this came out, you know, Slim Shady LP like dominated that year.
Yeah.
But then you also had Dr. Dre's 2001 album. But you had Black on Both Sides and Things Fall Apart from the Roots. So like
Pharoah Monch. Yeah,
Pharoah Monch and so there's a good mixed bag that came out this year.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was a mixed bag. Like, yeah. It was we got Volume 3, Missy's The Real World, DMX and There Was X, 2 Nas albums, Ja Rule's debut album, Eve's debut album, Mace's sophomore album, Method Man and Redman's album.
Yeah, and as you noted earlier, 2 albums from Nas.
Yeah, I said that.
Okay. So you had like a good mixed bag. You had Cash Money still dominating this year,
right? Yeah.
And No Limit.
So No Limit's run. So it was funny. So No Limit was on the decline, and Cash Money was on the rise. Like it was like they were going on different escalators or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. Exactly. So I guess this did in retrospect come out at the right time, but for Q-Tip, It was just a hard pill to swallow because this just wasn't the type of shit you was used to from him.
So I have something to say.
Yeah.
I think Q-Tip is too humble. I think that if Q-Tip had energy like Kanye, like none of this shit will be going on right now.
I think so.
Yeah, like I think like, and I know like people don't like it, and they're like, oh, this person's an asshole, but like, look how somebody can get overlooked.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think some people understand like how much Q-Tip has contributed to music.
I don't think they do, and yeah, he is really humble in that aspect. But at the same time, like Pharrell's really humble, and we know his contributions.
But some other people champion Pharrell. I don't get it, and I don't know why. But like people don't like, and it's like the people that champion Tip don't really get listened to, like Busta Rhymes.
Yeah.
Like it's just weird to me.
Busta Rhymes is like one of his best friends.
Yeah,
so like Busta Rhymes and Kanye champions Q-Tip.
Kanye champions Tip.
And Tyler champions Q-Tip as one of his inspirations.
I guess it's just I don't get it. I just wish that Tip got more attention because he was in the sessions for Illmatic and in the sessions for The Infamous. Mm-hmm. Like that's crazy.
What a crazy trajectory. Like that's insane.
Like you know what I'm saying? like A Tribe Called Quest, like you said, inspired the Neptunes, inspired Tyler Creator, inspired Kanye West. Like because of what Q-Tip was doing with A Tribe Called Quest, Dr. Dre felt pressure to make better hits for NWA. Like that's and then after that continue and then work with Snoop Dogg and Death Row. Like I'm just saying, like I don't think that he gets the proper due. Like I know like we say that all the time, but like I'm dead serious, yo. Like I don't think he gets it, yo. I found out he produced Butterfly for Mariah Carey.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
He's one of the producers.
Yeah,
he's not the sole producer.
He's not the sole producer, but like he's in there. Wow, I didn't know that.
Come on.
But yeah, I guess I agree with you. I think he doesn't, but he's super recluse. Like you barely get interviews from Q-Tip, and I think that goes into it too. Like I feel like these artists that we champion, like Pharrell gives us interviews. Pharrell has a podcast. Like he's seeable. Like he's visible.
He plays the game.
He's on social media. Exactly. He plays the game. He's on social media. He's this and that. Q-Tip seems like he's so anti all of that. Like
right. I mean, like he said, the industry people be shady.
Mm-hmm. So like, exactly. So I think with him, he's right where he wants to be with the acclaim and the respect that he has. As long as he knows that when he pops out, he has the love and the support. He does still owe us like 2 other albums. Remember he said he did 2 albums and they were coming out back to back?
Yo, bro, I read that between The Fire. So, but he made Amplify, right? But from The Fire until 2008, he said he made over 500 songs that he had in the stash. And then remember that his sophomore album, we did that episode already.
Yeah, Renaissance.
The Renaissance, like he like the label made him push it back because of The Love Below. Even though he turned his in first before The Love Below. Yeah. Like neither one of them, it was just like the universe. Like neither one bit off the other one, but basically the conceptually they had the same idea.
Yeah. And they said they flat out told him, I was reading interviews from back then too, they told him they didn't believe in it. They didn't really like the sound of it.
Right.
So it kind of like, I think it leaked back then, and then early reviews came out and when they was loving it, and that's when he got a set date. Okay.
Now I got a better example. He needed someone like L.A. Reid to fuck with him.
Yeah, if he had a big titan behind him, because I feel like he's just been flying solo in a sense, doing all this shit on his own. Like he moves the needle on his own music.
The only time that I've ever seen Q-Tip like fight for something was when A Tribe Called Quest didn't get nominated for a Grammy that year when Phife Dawg passed away.
I want to say that was 2016.
I believe so.
Yeah, for their last album.
Yeah, and like before We Got It From Here. Like I think like he really wanted that moment at least to even like just be there. Like they performed, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But like I remember like that was a big deal.
That would have been the icing on the cake. Like your man's just passed.
Right.
And then he's on his album that's critically acclaimed and you perform. It's like a slap in the face.
Yeah. So I remember that like he was pissed. So I guess like you're right. Like he's super humble, but I know that like he was passionate about that. Like, yo, how does this album not get nominated for a Grammy at least? Like, not fuck win. Like, how do you not acknowledge that this album is one of the best albums of the year? So.
And it was a good album.
Right.
So Higher is followed by Breathe and Stop, which was the second single on this album. This song gets overlooked a lot, in my opinion, because, you know, the monstrous single on this album is Vibrant Thing.
Yeah.
And it's by no means, it's not better than Vibrant Thing. But Breathe and Stop, that beat, and the way this comes on after Higher in itself, like the sequencing on this album, that's another thing. It's amazing. It's a great single.
Mm-hmm. All I can say is it's an infectious ass song, and I enjoyed the video very much.
Yeah, yeah, same. I think he just, there was just this underlying tone when this album came out that, like, I feel like when it came on, people sucked their teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird. Like, it was weird back then.
It's like people like think he's corny or something like that. I felt like,
it was weird, man. And I remember that energy, even though I was like really young, but I didn't know any better because I'm like, oh, this shit sounds good to me. This is cool. You know, he's on a different vibe. These beats are fire. That's all I cared about back then.
All that you gotta think about all the aggressive energy that was like coming out of New York at that time, like, and all the masculinity, and then you got like Q-Tip, this dude with a high pitched voice, and then like, you know, he's never really in no shit. Like, you gotta think like even LL Cool J was known for like knocking dudes out. So then you got Onyx.
Even though he made softer music.
Yeah, even though he made softer music, like he offset that. Like a lot of rappers was known for like, you know, getting into shit, and like Q-Tip was just like this cool dude who like wanted to talk to you about like art.
Yeah.
Women were just sick of it. It was like, oh, I don't want a fucking poem.
Yeah. But then in retrospect, at the same time, Q-Tip was getting all these women.
Oh yeah, all of them.
Like, all these women back then. Because he was low key and he was out of shit.
Yeah. So then somebody wanted to kill him because they thought that he was sleeping with his wife.
Yeah. He has a story, man.
Yeah.
Imagine Q-Tip on Drink Champs. That'd be crazy.
Did he? No, he hasn't done it.
Nah, he hasn't done it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he would either. Because he looks like he can't handle his look.
Yeah, he'll get to talking some shit on there. Yeah, man, I was in Soho. Yeah. You know what I was gonna say. I'm not gonna say that though. Moving with You. Moving with You is the song that follows Breathe and Stop. Classic sound, classic Dilla sound. Doesn't have any noted samples, even though Dilla was like very infamous for his sampling. But I looked. It's very obscure. This song doesn't have any samples.
Right. So this song I thought was a really dope, like kind of showed like his like him how he picks up women. And like shows how he does the whole "excuse me, miss" kind of thing. I thought that was dope.
Yeah. And so Moving With You is followed by Let's Ride. Let's Ride is still one of my favorite songs from this album. I still play this song. Great, beautiful production. This is like the sound that the OG Tribe Called Quest fans probably wanted from this whole album.
And the production, like this beat is always played like on the radio whenever like they have like intermissions or like they just like talking and shit like that. Like, and I feel like Angie like played this beat a lot.
Yeah. And it's one of those songs that you heard the beat, you just didn't know the song. But yeah, this is a beautiful classic record. The way it's produced is like there's layers upon layers of genius in this song. And that's Things You Do is what follows that. These track placements so far, and we're 6 tracks in, are immaculate.
Yeah. That's another thing. Like he was really good. Like even the Tribe albums, like they were like the placement of the songs were like really good.
Yeah, and I like that he always knows when to rap and when to scale it back and just let the beat ride. Like he's really good at that. All In is what follows that, and I like that so far in this album too, and on this song he showcases his personality. Like I think that was like a breather for him, even though it was like it sucked for him to like take a break from Tribe, but it was a breather for him because he got a chance to showcase just his own set skill. Like I feel like that's how it is with most solo artists in general. Yeah. They get a chance to just ride solo, be their own person.
I thought I enjoyed this one because on this track he actually kind of got more lyrical. compared to the other songs on this album where he kind of like focused on like the hooks and the instrumentation, and on this one like he like gave us some bars, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
like I'm actually really glad that you picked this, like, because I was just like, damn, I wonder why Rez picked this one, and like I'm listening to it again, and I'm just like, it's so funny, like, you know, because like, remember like when we were younger, and like people be like, oh man, I don't want none of that pop shit or like, you know, that radio shit, but it's like Q-Tip kind of actually made a digestible hip hop album that was pop.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, it didn't feel like, you know, like it was like some like fake commercial generic shit that like everybody like hated and everything like that. Like you don't get no more hip hop than Q-Tip.
Exactly, because he already knows he's cemented, so he just kind of let loose on here. I mean, this song starts off with him just like eating. Mm-hmm. He's like chewing, like mad loud in the mic.
I wrote that down and I didn't. Him talking into the mic like that is hilarious to me.
Yeah, like he would never do that on a Tribe album. He would never do that. I feel that's what I like about this so much. It's such a left turn, but it still showcases some genius. Like this is genius work. What's that followed by? Go Hard? Yeah, Go Hard is what follows that. And I like how it starts off as like a dark, like 80s movie type vibe, but then it kicks into a party type beat.
I like that as well. And then I like the part when he's like breaking down the different regions on the song. And I was like, okay. Like I just, man, I'm telling you, bro, like he don't get enough. Like he maybe Kanye need to get upset one day and like really, really talk about this shit.
And talk about Q-Tip?
Yeah.
I could see Kanye doing that, just going on a random rant about
Q-Tip. It's Q-Tip, dog.
It's Q-Tip. Y'all niggas don't understand.
Yeah, I just feel like he doesn't get like what he deserves.
Yeah, you never know with Kanye. He might do that tomorrow. Just hop on Instagram and go on a.
You know what? Rant. While I'm mad at Adidas,
I just had a 7-hour talk with Q-Tip and put up a screenshot of they talk. And you guys don't understand this brother, or y'all don't appreciate him enough. Some crazy shit. Mm-hmm. So Go Hard is followed by Do It, which is another great party song. It sounds commercial when you listen to it, but I fucking love this song. This is like his, and at this point in the album is when I realized that this was his shiny suit era.
Of course.
This was like his interpretation of the shiny suit era.
Yeah, and I actually think that he did a better job, and I think that's why like Questlove and all those guys fuck with it. They were like, if you're gonna do a shiny suit album, this is how you do it.
Oh, is this what Puff's trying to do?
Yeah.
And like this is what he
I agree.
Yeah, this is what he made of it.
And you think about it, like if you compare this album to Forever, like this album whoops Forever's ass.
Yeah. And a lot of people didn't like Forever, and I like Forever. We should probably do that. We should probably do that.
I would love to do it Forever.
I'm with that. But yeah, I think this is a great interpretation of that era. And then it's followed by Vibrant Thing, which is a classic fucking song. Every time I think of this song, you got to think of the video. You got to think about. I just think of silver and the white screen. I mean the white borders, which is classic Hype Williams. Dancing, when you think about it, like that was really it was really crazy for Q-Tip to make such a left turn like that. Yeah. Like to come out with Vibrant Thing, like it was so left for him. I see why niggas was mad. I see why they were mad.
It was like, yo, you already taking our bitches. Now you making songs for them?
Like what? What? And women shaking their ass. It was just, and him just riding in his car with them. It was, and just having fun. And it's an incredible beat. And Vibrant is not even a word. All this time I thought it was a word.
Well, yeah. I mean, vibrant is a word.
Yeah.
But vibrant, no.
Yeah. Vibrant's not a word. It just sounds like it belongs in a dictionary. Anybody says vibrant, you know what they mean, even though it's not an actual word.
Right.
You know? But yeah, so that's followed by NT, which features Busta Rhymes. Another one of my favorites on here. Busta does the chorus. Busta sounds crazy on the chorus.
Yeah.
The beat is crazy. Q-Tip is really rapping.
I think he's always trying. I think Busta will always be like a teenager and to Tip, like when he's around Tip. You know how sometimes there's certain people you're around and you don't feel like an adult.
Yeah.
I feel like he's always just like excited to be around Tip.
Yeah.
And like he just always try to like impress him and show off or whatever like that.
Hey, yo, come on.
Yeah, yeah, like that. Like, you know, like doing that shit. Cause like, and to this beat is another beat that like often gets played. Yeah.
This shit is so hard. 10 for real.
Yeah, man, it's just insane. Like I would love. I wish I was rich, because if I was rich, the things I would spend money on or put money behind is like shit, like a fucking tour. Like, yo, I wanna do a tour where Busta Rhymes and fucking Q-Tip go on tour. I would fund it. I would just pay for it.
I would take them.
I feel like I make my money back.
What's that? Yeah, you probably would. I think you would. What's that album that they did together? Abstract and the Dragon.
Yeah,
that was a good album.
Yeah,
that was a good album. I think even if they had toured that.
Yeah, and like I will make sure, like, you know, like I will probably do something like maybe like a 10,000 seater. I feel like they can like fill out 10,000 seaters around the United States and shit. I'm just saying, like, that's the kind of like fan that I am. Like, I would do shit like that. Like, I would like bring the fucking New York State of Mind tour to New York, like shit like that. I will make sure they
just
that
just that small fucking change. I still would like to believe that Nas is not doing that. I think he's just waiting on a big announcement. It's probably going to be something even bigger for New York. It gotta be.
I mean, we'll see.
It gotta be, yo. Maybe he's trying to get Hove.
We shall see.
You know, who knows?
Yeah, right.
Who knows? But so that's followed by End of Time, which features Korn.
All right. Do you know the story for this one?
What's the story?
So the story is that, all right, so we know that Q-Tip has changed his name to Kamal Fareed, if I'm not mistaken, right? But what's his real name?
I forget.
Jonathan Davis.
Okay.
The lead singer of Korn's name is Jonathan Davis.
Jonathan Davis.
So they were fresh off of their like album that came out in '98 that like sold millions of records. So like at the label, like Tip found out like, yo, we have the same name. Well, not the same name anymore, but like, you know, some people, my family still calls me that. Mm-hmm. So he was like, yeah, we should do a record together. And then John, you know, White John was like, all right, cool. So like they came and like they just merged their world together. Like Q-Tip didn't want to change anything that he did. Yeah. And like they just made the song together and it actually like worked. And I personally think that this song, it was way ahead of its time. Mm-hmm. Because remember, like everybody was like really like putting on a pedestal the song that Method Man and Fred Durst had together. And like, okay. Yeah. But like, nah, like it should have been this song. This song should have been on TRL. This song, like,
it's a great
song. I don't understand how to, like, this is what I'm saying. L.A. Reid would have saw this shit and said, how many records did Korn sell? In 98? And they're like, oh, we shooting a video for this.
And just organically, like, yo, your name is John. My name was John. Yo, let's do a track.
Yeah, like that's literally like that's the legit story for it, and I just think that's crazy.
That's nuts, and I love that he starts the song where he's like, "Just want to do me for real, you know. You love it or you hate it, fuck it," because that's really the story of this whole album. Yeah, that's how I feel like he went into this whole album, because he kind of, all the naysayers, all the people that didn't that kind of tried to put him in a box. Like, he has fucking Korn on this album. Mm-hmm. Like, how left can you go for an artist like Q-Tip, or for somebody that was in such a self-conscious group, you know? Mm-hmm. So I thought that was amazing. And then he closes it out with "Do It, See It, Be It," where he talks about a lot of heavy shit on here, but just like he just raps about it, puts it out there, closes that chapter. Like, the thing that he says about the house burned down. Plus, my house burned down. Me and Angel's in it. Drops her name. My crew was tired, and I knew that had to be the end of it. Like, he addressed some shit on here.
Nah, I really like it because it was kind of like an autobiography, like his own autobiography, and him just telling you everything that was just going on in his life. And to like cap the album off like that, I'm like, yo, this man sequenced this album immaculate. Like, you could tell, like, he really put time and effort into this project, and the fact like how deflating, like, you know, we see artists like when they lose, like when stuff happens to their studios, like what can happen. Yeah, right.
He lost everything.
Right.
And I did see that. I'm sorry to cut you off. I did see that he. I read like an interview recently when I was just going back and like revisiting this. In an interview, he said that it was already special to him that he even had an inkling to still want to do music, being that he lost everything. So he was like, yo, that in itself is special because, and I need to act on that. Because anybody else that would have lost everything, all their equipment, 500 plus songs in a fire, and had to learn how to do shit over and make songs over and sequence shit over, like, that's a tall glass. Like, and he just was like, yo, well, I still want to do it, you know? And he acted on that.
Cool.
So, we reached the end of this album, Amplified, 1999, Q-Tip's debut solo album. How you feel? How you feeling? What you want to give it?
4 waffles out of 5.
Okay. And the reason being?
The production is flawless. The re-listen value is really good. I also feel that it was one of the most unique projects of that year. And also I feel that, like, even though, like, he scaled back, he dumbed down the lyricism a lot, like, he made up for it in, like, melody and instrumentation.
Yeah.
So there's like a lot of things, and the arranging of the album. So that's why I can't, like, say it's like a perfect album or anything like that, but I can definitely say, like, it is like a solid project. Like, I actually need to get this shit on vinyl. Like, I need to, like, have it in my home. So yeah.
So I'd give it a 4.5 out of 5.
Okay.
I think this album is probably why I think if this album was more well received, that off rip, that Q-Tip would have the acclaim that we feel that he deserves. Because you say that that you feel like he's kind of underrated and doesn't get appreciated enough. I think this album and the way that it was received initially is the reason for that. I think people kind of stifled his creativity with just trying to get him to stick to one sound and one style. But, you know, when you revisit this album and see the way that he sequenced it, what he was rapping about, the way that he was able to still rap the way that he did on party songs, it was amazing. And it just takes me back to the cover of, like, trying to take a hold of everything himself. And I think all the music on this album still holds up today. Nothing sounds dated. It's incredible. And yeah, 4.5.
Not mad at it. Like I said, it's nothing. Like, I can't say much that's bad with the album.
So we'll leave it at that. I do invite you guys to revisit this album, give it a listen, see how it holds up, and, you know, that's your homework. I'm First Class Regg.
And I'm Taurian B.
We out of here.
Catch you next time.